True courage is not about waiting for fear to disappear before we act, because if we wait for that moment, it may never come. Fear is a natural companion of growth. It signals that we're moving into unfamiliar territory where the outcome is uncertain. Courage means acknowledging that fear, feeling it fully, and still deciding to take the next step forward. When Brené Brown speaks of stepping into the arena, she's talking about showing up in life with your whole heart. Even when you know you might fail, be criticized, or feel exposed. The arena might be a literal stage, but more often it's a conversation you've been avoiding, a risk you've been postponing, or a change you've been afraid to make. Entering it requires you to drop the illusion of safety and face the possibility of discomfort head-on. Courage doesn't guarantee a win. It guarantees an experience. It teaches you more about yourself than staying in the shadows ever could. And with each brave step you take, you prove to yourself that fear doesn't have to be the driver of your life. You can feel the shaking in your hands, hear the doubt in your head, and still move forward, because what you're stepping toward matters more than the comfort you're leaving behind. Comfort is seductive because it promises predictability. It's the space where we know what to expect, where we avoid risks, and where our ego feels protected from embarrassment or failure. But what we often don't realize is that this safety comes with a cost. It keeps our lives confined to the same patterns, routines, and limits we already know. When we choose comfort over courage, we avoid the challenges that could help us grow. We may feel a temporary sense of relief, but over time, that relief turns into stagnation. We become like a bird that never leaves its cage, not because the door is locked, but because it's easier to stay where it's familiar. The cage feels safe, but it also prevents us from discovering how far we can fly. Brené Brown's work reminds us that growth never comes from staying in the safe zone. The moments that define who we are, the breakthroughs, the achievements, the deep relationships, are born from uncertainty and discomfort. By staying too long in comfort, we risk missing out on those life-changing opportunities. It's important to remember that discomfort is not a sign we're doing something wrong. It's often proof that we're stepping into new territory. That uneasiness you feel when trying something new is simply your mind and body adjusting to a bigger version of you. The choice is always there. Shrink back into what's easy or step forward into what's possible. One of the most powerful lessons Brené Brown teaches is that vulnerability is not weakness. In fact, it is the birthplace of every act of real courage. We often think of bravery as charging forward without fear, but true bravery begins when we allow ourselves to be seen exactly as we are, with no armor, no masks, and no guarantees. Vulnerability is the courage to say, "This is me," even when we don't know how the world will respond. To be vulnerable is to open yourself up to uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. It's admitting you don't have all the answers. It's speaking your truth when silence would be easier. It's taking a leap toward a dream that might fail. Every one of those actions carries the possibility of rejection, criticism, or disappointment. Yet they also carry the possibility of deep connection, transformation, and fulfillment. The reason vulnerability feels so uncomfortable is because it requires us to let go of control. We can't script the outcome. We can't guarantee applause or acceptance. But without that risk, we also cut ourselves off from the moments that give life meaning, moments of love, belonging, trust, and authenticity. When we embrace vulnerability, we open the door for others to do the same. We show that it's okay to be imperfect, to be learning, and to be human. And that shared humanity is where the strongest bonds are built. Vulnerability is not the opposite of courage. It is courage in its purest form. When we picture courage, our minds often jump to dramatic, high-stakes moments. A soldier on the battlefield, a firefighter rushing into flames, or a leader making an impassioned speech. While those are indeed acts of bravery, they represent only one side of the story. The truth is, some of the most profound forms of courage happen away from the spotlight in the quiet corners of our daily lives. Quiet bravery is deciding to have a difficult conversation you've been dreading, even though your voice shakes. It's admitting to someone you love that you made a mistake and asking for forgiveness. It's raising your hand in a meeting to share an idea that others might dismiss. It's choosing to set a boundary with a friend or family member. Even though you fear it might upset them, these moments rarely make headlines, but they shape our character in ways the world may never see. They require us to confront our fears directly without the adrenaline rush of a big public event to carry us through. In quiet acts of bravery, it's just us, our values, and the decision to do what's right, even if no one else notices. Brené Brown often says that courage is contagious, and this is especially true with quiet acts. When someone sees you stand up for yourself, admit vulnerability, or pursue what you believe in without fanfare, it sends a silent but powerful message: you can do this too. This ripple effect can inspire more change than we realize, proving that bravery is not measured by volume, but by integrity. Courage is not simply about taking risks. It's about taking the right risks for the right reasons. True bravery means making decisions that reflect your deepest values, even when those decisions are uncomfortable, unpopular, or come with personal sacrifices. It's easy to act brave when the choice is also easy. The real test comes when doing the right thing costs you time, energy, relationships, or security. Living by your values requires clarity about what truly matters to you. It might mean telling the truth when a lie would save you trouble. It could be standing up for someone who is being treated unfairly, even when it puts you in the line of fire. It might mean walking away from a job, a friendship, or a situation that compromises your integrity, even though staying would be more convenient. The world will constantly tempt you to trade your principles for comfort. People may tell you to pick your battles or to not make things harder than they need to be. But courage asks a different question. Will I be able to look back on this moment and know I acted in a way that honors my beliefs? Brené Brown reminds us that integrity is choosing courage over comfort and choosing what is right over what is easy, even when no one is watching. When you live in alignment with your values, you build trust with yourself. That trust becomes a compass, guiding you through uncertainty and helping you face challenges with the quiet confidence that you are living your truth. The discomfort we feel when stepping into something new is sharp, immediate, and often uncomfortable enough to make us want to turn back. It's that knot in your stomach before a big presentation, the racing heartbeat before you speak your mind, or the uneasy feeling of not knowing whether you'll succeed. But as intense as discomfort feels in the moment, it's temporary. It fades with time, especially once we've taken the leap and seen what we're capable of. Regret, on the other hand, is a much heavier burden. It's the quiet ache that lingers when we know we had the chance to try and didn't. It's the what if that comes back to us years later, reminding us of the opportunities we avoided, the conversations we never had, and the dreams we never pursued. Unlike discomfort, regret doesn't fade easily. It can follow us for decades, casting a shadow over the choices we didn't make. When faced with a decision between courage and comfort, it helps to ask, which feeling will I be okay living with later? The short-term discomfort of trying or the long-term weight of wondering what could have been. Almost always, the temporary unease is worth the lasting pride and growth that come from taking action. Brené Brown's message is clear. The pain of stepping outside your comfort zone is nothing compared to the pain of a life half lived. Discomfort is the sign that you're stretching, learning, and moving closer to the person you want to be. Regret is the reminder that you stayed safe but small. Courage is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. The first time you step out of your comfort zone, it can feel overwhelming. Your mind might race with doubts, your body might resist, and fear might whisper that you're not ready. But when you choose to act anyway, something powerful happens. You prove to yourself that you can survive uncertainty, discomfort, and even failure. That proof becomes a reference point for the future. Each act of courage builds a new layer of self-trust. You start to recognize that fear is not a stop sign, it's a signal that you're moving toward growth. Over time, situations that once felt impossible start to feel manageable, even exciting. The same way lifting weights gradually allows you to lift heavier loads. Small, courageous acts prepare you for bigger, more meaningful challenges. Brené Brown's research shows that courage is cumulative. The bravery you show today, whether it's speaking up in a meeting, asking for help, or pursuing a dream, doesn't just impact that single moment. It reshapes your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who can take risks, navigate setbacks, and keep moving forward. That identity fuels future acts of courage, creating a ripple effect that touches every part of your life. And here's the beautiful part. Your courage doesn't just grow your capacity. It also inspires those around you. When people witness your bravery, it gives them permission to be brave too. In this way, courage is both personal and contagious, expanding far beyond the moment you take that first step